Welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Joining us now is Kathy Terrell with Mama T, Jams and Jellies. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me on the show today.
I'm very excited to talk about Jams and Jellies now.
Well, good.
To start out, I guess, what inspired you to start this venture?
Okay, so when I was a little girl, in the summertime, I grew up in Oklahoma City, but in the summertime when my parents were working, I had to go stay with grandma for the summer in the country. And my grandmother was really good about putting me to work, waking me up early in the morning. Get up, we're going to get some grapes. And I'm like, okay, why? And she's like, we're gonna make some jams and jellies today. And I said, oh, that sounds good. And then we go out in the middle of nowhere and pull up on the side of a lake road and pick wild grapes.
Was this like her special spot?
It was, and I didn't even know wild grapes were a thing. I thought, the grocery store. They came magically from the grocery store.
That, right?
Yeah, and so that's when I learned that grapes can grow wild, and we'd go back and she just, at that time in my age, I just want to be out and playing with my friends, so I wasn't really into the hard labor thing, but I had to watch and pick, and then she'd get in the kitchen and do her thing, and I would watch, and her jams and jellies were good. My favorites were her grape jelly and her apple butter, and so that's kind of like the root of something being started that I really didn't even know was being started.
Yeah. So okay, so now you have Mama T, Jams and Jellies. What all are you doing here?
So I started a couple years ago. My grandmother passed away. I have her with me, so I have to show this picture. I use this when I'm cooking to remind me of where I got started. And so when my grandmother passed away in 2019, it was a big loss. I a big of a loss. Yeah. But she was almost like a second mom to me because I lived with her in the summers. 2 years in high school, I lived with her. And so one summer, a couple years ago, I was like, man, I wish I could have some of my grandma's apple butter. I wonder if I could make some. And so I started thinking in my mind what I saw her doing. And my first batch went in the trash. Something was missing, and so I had to think back. It took me a while, and I just started thinking of like the smells that I would remember smelling. Wow. And then I figured out what I was missing, and it was cloves. And so I made another batch, and then I added a little twist to grandma's recipe, got my own little secret sauce in there, and it is really good. It's one of my top sellers.
So you built this up from kind of scratch in memory, not just a box of your grandma's recipes.
Exactly. No, I have nothing written down. I just remember memories of spending time in the kitchen with grandma, and I took it to a family reunion in Oklahoma City, and some people had already tried a little bit of it. They were fighting over it, like over who was going to get to take some home as a prize. And then finally one of my cousins shouted, this was last summer, you should be selling this stuff. And I was like, really, you think so? And everybody's like, yeah, I would buy it. So I came back to Topeka and I started doing some research, and I was like, you know what, I think I can do this. And here we are. And here I am, and I am loving it. My slogan is joy in every jar, because it brings me joy, and then I get to hand on the legacy and bring joy to other people. So
truly, it's truly made with love here. Yes. Aside from even made from love, what makes your jams and jellies so special? Like, what are people looking for right now?
Well, there's a huge trend in people wanting more than just food. When I was a kid, food was just food. It was more than food. It was making a memory. Like, think of a slice of toast lathered in butter, thick with jam made by somebody who loved you, not this mass-produced stuff filled with, sugars and corn syrups and stuff. And so people want that. They want health-conscious people want all natural, they want healthy, they want low sugar, and they want real fruit, not mystery fruit that you wonder really what is this that's supposed to be a strawberry, but it looks nothing like a strawberry in my jam. And so people want authenticity, and they want an experience. And so I tell people, when you buy jams and jellies from Mama T, you're not just getting a jar of jam. You're getting something that you can use to elevate ordinary meals into extraordinary creations, and I share recipes with them. So it's good stuff.
That's fantastic. So I know a lot of people are they're listening right now. They're thinking, how do I get these jams? Where can they find you?
Okay, they can find me at the Rosewood Event Center. That's where I rent my office space from. I also have stuff on the shelves at the Topeka Vendors Market. or they can order online at www.mamatjams.com and select pickup. They don't really have to pick it up. My version of pickup is you select pickup, give me your address, and then I drive to your house, and when I hand it to you, you pick it up out of my hand, and there it is.
Fantastic. I love that. Well, I cannot wait to get my hands on some of your jams and jelly.
I can't wait to give you some.
Very excited. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Kathy. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you today.
Thank you.
And everyone, again, to learn more, you can visit mamatjams.com.